Experimenter's Night. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. Amateur radio is a worldwide hobby that has many different aspects. Digital television is just one of the many modes and areas that are covered. Maybe you're interested in becoming involved in the DATV Experimenter's Nights. Do you realise that you do not have to be a radio amateur or need any ATV equipment to participate anywhere in the world? Also participate on the night by coming up to the Queen's Domain club rooms. Yes, right on top of the Queen's Domain in the heritage-listed Coast Wireless Station. You never know, we might get you in front of the camera or behind doing one of the many roles during the night. We get underway with our program on a Wednesday night from 7:30pm local time. We'll see you soon. This is VK7 OTC.
Cool. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our ATV Experimenters Night. And sorry for the slight delay. We're actually operating from our new. Let me just whiz around here. Take Hayden out on the way. Our new. If we zoom in there, our new. Video mixer, which we featured last week, was donated by one Mr. Anders Marchant, and it is a Panasonic digital AV mixer WJ MX20. So thank you to Anders for that donation, very much appreciated. And it's pressed into service. So there you go. Now we'll zoom out a bit there. Oh, no, not. There we go. How's that? So it's being pressed into service and doing a wonderful job right at the moment. We might do a bit of playing with the chroma keying in a short while after we've finished. And welcome to Hayden VK7HH in the studio audience. You can sit here if you like. You can. We'll head over to the
wide cam.
To the wide. Oh, hang on. What did I do just then? Now this is me. Oh, there we go. That was a bit of a nasty transition, but anyway, that's what's going to air. So, greetings, Hayden.
Hello.
How would you be?
Good.
Now I understand you can fill in the guest spot.
You don't normally pull people from the audience, do you?
Oh, every so often.
Do you?
Yeah. Now I understand congratulations are in order because you get Hackaday for the second week running.
Yeah, that was a bit unexpected. So
which article did they pick up?
Well, the first article, which I think you mentioned, did you mention that last week?
I did.
Last week, which was the Moon one, the EME one with Richard, 7ZBX, and this week was about the RigPi. So they caught on to that,
okay,
and they've been sharing that.
Okay.
So good exposure for amateur radio.
Definitely. And I think you were saying out there that the the author of that particular article is actually an amateur. Yeah.
He is. He's an amateur. So
US amateur. Is
yeah.
it? Yeah.
I can't remember. It's a W call sign, W5 something.
Okay. Okay.
He's So he's an amateur. Al Williams.
Okay. Okay. Well, fantastic. It gets amateur radio out there, and in everybody's in front of everybody.
Well, there was a lot of the Moon one in particular. I think a lot of people who weren't necessarily amateurs watched it, so that was good.
Okay. No, that's great. We actually, I had that as a video last week. I put that on as our first video of the night, so that hopefully it gets a bit more exposure out there. So it's good. It's very good.
Yeah, and I think Richard's planning on a follow-up later on this month, so we might see if we can do it again.
Well and truly. Good stuff. Okay, now I just wanted to follow up the Sisters Acousmatica, which is Pip and Julia, who we had on last week, and I do have to apologise for the streamed video that we put up on YouTube, the Reese YouTube channel, has a little bit of the start of that particular video missing. And that's because there was a little issue with the Studio YouTube editor, where it kept showing me the previous unedited version, and I thought, hang on, I've taken that bit out. So I took that bit out again. What it was doing is actually taking another bit out and another bit out. So I do apologise to Julia and Pip for that one. But I just wanted to mention, both Julia and Pip are actually doing a Cam Arts forum at the Diode Theatre at the Arts School down at Hunter Street this Friday at lunchtime between 12:30 and 1:30. And this is a little bit about how they put things together, their radio sketches, their radio-inspired sketches, as well as there is a little thing in the write-up that says that they will be doing a demonstration.
Might be able to scam an hour off at work and go down there for work.
Well,
it is work.
It's one of your locations.
It is. So that'll be good.
So that's this Friday between 12:30 and 1:30. So in the Diode Theatre at the Art School. The other thing that Julia and Pip let us know the other day was the art installation which they're putting together for the Moonah Arts Centre. It runs between, it's 4 weeks over the last 2 weeks of November and the first 2 weeks of December. But they're actually running an international open call for radio art, which is on the 8th of November, and it runs for the afternoon from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Moonah Arts Centre. And this is to try and, I suppose, spark some interest in providing some material, some content, for that 4 weeks of them operating a small community radio station. A little mini community radio station, and the novel thing is they're actually running it from a ute that's parked at the front of the Moonah Arts Centre, which will be all decorated up. And they've been doing a whole lot of school programs over this last 2 weeks, so really getting into getting art out into the community and getting kids involved and everybody involved. So I have no doubt that there will be lots more around the Sisters Acousmatica, who are regulars up here, and they're actually members of Reest. And I did notice that on there, both of these segments that they're advertising, they do name up Reest as a bit of a supporter and a bit of the impetus for some of the things that they're getting up to. So I thought that was fantastic, really good. The other thing that's happening on today and tomorrow is they're running slow scan TV from the ISS. 145 800, so it's the standard channel, the voice channel, and they're running it basically today and tomorrow. So if you have a pass, a reasonable pass of the ISS above, stick it on 145/800 and your favourite SSTV or favourite slow scan TV application, and I have no doubt, and it's the Russians on the space station right at the moment who are running it, so I have no doubt there'll probably be some good Russian pictures coming down from the International Space Station. So that's another thing. Now, last week I totally forgot, and it was actually on the running sheet, but I totally missed it. Was our visit to the ABC studios. Now this is going to challenge me. Let's go to that and go 3. No, that wasn't right. What just happened then? Oh, there we go.
Cool.
I just had to push the button. We'll see how we go with this, because I haven't actually, that's what's going to air, so that's a bit better. So our visit to the ABC studios, and a huge thank you to Damien VK7SD and Alan VK7KAN for showing us through. I just wanted to show a few of the pictures that we went through. Oh, there's our pin-up boy Warren in front of the logo. And just to prove that it was actually a live studio, that's one of the radio studios that was actually live at the time, with one of the evening presenters. We'll get to that. Weather photos, we'll get to that. Just bear with me, because these are totally out of sequence. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the very beginning. Here we go. So that was starting off with the crew. That was everybody who went along. And for those who watch the ABC News, this is right in front of the ABC News desk. This was in the television studio. This was the radio studio. Oh, there we go. That's a nice picture of Warren. In fact, I wonder where Warren is. We went into, Alan and Damien took us into one of the radio studios that was obviously not being used. Took us through all of the technology that's on this desk. I find it fascinating that all of these controls are literally control surfaces, and that's all they are. There is no audio or anything goes anywhere near these. In fact, the only audio is basically the microphones for the announcer and the guest, and they go to A to D converters and then get streamed all over the place. So I thought that was interesting. This is the other side of the desk where Herman was. There are 4. They can have 4 guests there at any one time. He went through the scheduling and the way that they do timing, etc., which was really, really good. That was me taking a picture. This was one of their production desks. They use Protel, and you can tell Protel because if you have a look at the keyboard's all coloured with Protel commands, which is interesting. I'm a Triple J listener, so there you go. We then went into Radio Master Control. Now, Radio Master Control is where everything to do with radio comes into that area, and you can think of it as just one big audio matrix switch, basically, where there's levels, there's all sorts of things, and that can be controlled or take control from anywhere in Australia, which is pretty impressive. We then went into the television studio. So the television control room, which is what you're looking at here, an array of flat screen TVs that are all split up into all the different sources and bits and pieces. You can see there's the auto cue here. There is the weather chroma key screen. Alan took us through a couple of the stories and ran through basically what the director, who is the person who sits here, this is some of the screens here. This is the director's seat, and there's a director and a producer who sit in this room. It was quite uncanny because there is an audio mixing desk sitting behind this, as well as a lighting desk and a few other desks. and everything that is queued here at the main desk is just a sequence, and the director's basically going through a sequence, and you're seeing all of the other desks all automated, all doing what they have to do as the sequence goes through. So it shows you, here's the auto cue, there's the chroma key screen, there's Martin VK7GN in front of the weather, which would normally be Simon or somebody. We then went around out of the control room into the studio. Here's the studio, and there is the chroma key screen. There's Damo there. And just off to the side is what Simon looks at when he does the weather. So he actually knows where he's going to be pointing. Forget those. Here we go. And this was Alan giving us a little bit of a demonstration of doing the weather. So he's looking across at this screen over here, and basically pointing at Tasmania, or pointing where he has to point by looking at where he is over here. And he had the little 433 megahertz clicker in his hand, so he could run through each of the different parts of the weather.
Does he read an auto cue for that off to the side as well?
There is an auto cue. No, that was the funny thing. There is an auto cue that's basically behind him, but when you in studio, where that is right next to where the door is into the studio, and on the back of the door is basically all his notes.
Right. So he reads notes.
Well, he basically memory triggers.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So most of what he's saying is actually
off
correct.
his notes. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
So he does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And leading up to the news, it was quite interesting. The last time we were there at about 7:15, and Simon was out in the outside where all the couches and everything were, and he was basically reading what he was going to say. So a bit of practice going on. It was good. Now we went out into the garage. These are my crappy shots of. These are actually satellite link. This is a satellite dish, an automated satellite dish on one of their link trucks. And then we went across to one of their outside broadcast vans. This is I think an 8 or 12 gig. Damo will correct me, but 8 or 12 gig link transceiver. That's all folded up on top of the link truck. All of this link comes down. Basically, they can take this, if they can see the mountain, they point it at the mountain, and instantly they've then got a high bandwidth audio and video link set up. And Damien said right down to Huonville. So I thought that was pretty impressive. This is inside the link truck. Everything's battery backed up. There is UPS and all sorts of stuff in there. Battery. This is all there where those links come into, and any other feed from an outside broadcast camera, so they can do all that mixing and then send it. Now, I actually took this for Rex. I'll show this to Rex when he comes back. Some of their equipment, we actually use some software from Meyenberg, which is NMANA. Not MNANA. That's the antenna modelling. NMEA. That's the stream. NEMA. Yeah. Streaming. There is a bit of software that is created by Meyenberg, and this is all to do with GPS locking your time standards. So I thought that was an interesting. We then went into the video master control, which there are a bucket load of screens. You can even see down here in the corner. This is Parliament House. That obviously there was nobody in there at that stage, but this is the Parliament House feed. And we then went into the main. What would you call it? Data centre, I suppose you'd call it, where all of the equipment terminates to, and the various bits of smarts that are in there. I did have to take a photo of this one because this is the Descartes system, which Damien pointed out is the oldest piece of kit in that room, because a lot of things in radio still use this particular piece of kit for sequencing and a few other things. So I had to take a picture of that, and I think that might be. That was the link truck on the top with it folded down. Now this is a bit hard to see. This is Damien standing in the television studio behind one of their automated cameras, and they are robotic cameras. Basically, they move to their own accord as part of the sequence for the news as they run through the news sequence. This is quite a small little camera. It's got a beautiful professional lens on it with a Q mirror on the front and a Q monitor on the front, so for the auto cue. The interesting thing is Guy Stainer controls the auto cue speed himself, and he's got 2 pedals on the floor that he pedals, as well as he's got a hand control that he can use. So I found that quite interesting, because in the old scheme there used to be someone sitting in the studio with him controlling the auto cue speed. So if he slowed down, they slowed down, sped up, all sorts of stuff. So I just took a photo of that because, and this is a little bit hard to see, but this is actually the side of one of those robotic cameras where all of the terminations come out. Absolutely fascinating, for me anyway. But I run a DATV studio, so that's actually the auto cue for the weather that I was talking about. So you're seeing what the weather is actually looking like, as well as through an auto cue. And I think that's it. So now if I push this button, what does that do? Oh, take us back to there. Hang on, why does it take us back to there? Let's go to 2. No. Oh, that's better.
There you go.
Sorry for that pause. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Now, if I push that again, because that's the bus that's live because we're up there. Okay, no, me working out how to work the new mixer. Okay, now, okay. As many of you know, I have a interference problem at home on HF. You might recognise this article. Back in AR Magazine of September 1992, January 1993, and then a follow-up in January 1994, Lloyd Butler, VK5BR, who many people would know, I've actually built his single coil Z-Match matching unit, antenna matching unit, which works a treat. He produced an interference cancelling system for your receiver. Now, what this does is, and I'll show you the little circuit diagram, because it's quite a simple little circuit diagram. And if I zoom in here, okay, so what he does is there is, I'm going to fix that. What you end up with is 2 antennas. Yep. And you're able to change the phase of the reference antenna. So you've got your auxiliary antenna, which is your reference antenna, if you like, and you've got the ability to do a little bit of tuning on this antenna, because there's a little addendum article here, which for the low, the medium, and then all the way up to 28, so 1.8 meg all the way up to 28 meg through 4 switches, to change the phasing of that internal reference antenna. Don't worry, that was just a mouse, and I'm not using it. So you're able to change the phase of the incoming reference antenna. There's a little bit of amplification here, and a little bit of amplification with a little FET here, and then into a bipolar amplifier that you then feed that out of or in phase or vaguely out of phase signal into there's a little matching transformer here. You've got your main antenna here through to your receiver, and there is a little a transformer that enables you to actually mix those signals together with what's coming in through here. So if the noise is actually being heard on your, well, either of these, but on your auxiliary antenna as well, you're able to change the phase to actually try and improve the noise that's actually coming in and reduce it off of this signal here. So quite a simple little idea. It is used, MFJ have a very similar arrangement which I think uses the same sort of idea, but it's based on two antennas, one that you can change the phase with, and then your main antenna. Now he goes into, there's a little bit in here, the next one, there's a little bit in here, obviously that's a just for your receiver, but if you actually have a transceiver where you do want to transmit and receive on that particular that main antenna, there's a little basically TR switch, TR relay that enables you to disconnect the noise cancelling circuit and connect your transmitter, and then when you stop transmitting it reverts it back again. So and there's a little bit of an update to which I think was the January 1994 update, where you can improve the actual receiving ability of the circuit as well. So anyway, I'm building that up right at the moment. So watch this space. And the last little bit of it arrived from TTS Systems the other day. So thank you to Dave and Chlorine. So that was really, really good. Just wanted to mention the 122 gig transceivers, little transverters that I mentioned last week, which we have. I know of at least 5 that are on order. Have you ordered one?
No.
No? So I know of at least 5. There's probably more being ordered. One of the key things that happened over the last week is that Tim VK7HH has started a groups.io group for the 122, and those people who have ordered from him, he has invited you along to the group. But it's an open group, so you can get involved. And Dave Minchin, who is one of the drivers behind getting this kit together and everything, has put some great stuff on there about how they're going with getting everything together and what the progress of it is. So watch this space. So another thing to play with. Now, I just wanted to do a plug of, while I open this, I just wanted to do a plug for our event next week. We don't have a DATV night next week, but what we do have is the tour of the Lion Milk and Drinks Company in Lena Valley, which is for those who know Lena Valley, as you drive past Calvary and keep going up the hill, and then you do a bit of a dog leg, and while you go up to Lena Valley proper. Is that Pottery Road? No, that's not Pottery Road.
Past Creek Road.
Just past Pottery Road.
Yeah.
Just past Pottery Road, as you turn the corner, you go past the park on the corner. That's Pottery Road. And then the next, there's if you're heading into Lena Valley, off to your right is the what used to be the Pura Milk or the Better Milk or the whatever milk factory. Pura. And it's changed owners a few times, but it's the Lion Milk and Drinks Company at the moment. Dale VK7DG is the engineer out there, so he has organised to show us through the processing line of how they make milk and get it into, well, not how they make milk, how they process milk. How they process milk, sorry.
We're just going to watch cows all night.
Wandering around the paddock.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you make milk.
Yeah. No. This is a bit more complex than that.
Yeah.
But this is the whole thing is automated, and it's all about process control. And there is a huge amount of technology that goes into this this processing line. So it is absolutely fascinating night. 16th of October, so next Wednesday night from 7:30 p.m. and we're meeting at the front door of the Lion Drinks Factory out in Lena Valley. So it should be a excellent night. And it won't be a late night either. So don't worry if you come out of there at 10 o'clock. You won't be. So anyway, that's now. The other thing was this has hit this week the latest version of Diode Magazine, and one of the key articles is how to make your own giant LED lamp, literally that size. So it's a huge thing, and we'll go through a few of the articles in there in the not too distant future. So there is a copy for the club up here. If you're up here at any stage, that's available. So yeah. Our videos for the night. Okay, the very first one is from Alex OZ9AEC. Now, Alex did a talk at the Friedrichshafen Hamfest. They run an SDR Academy alongside of the Hamfest, which has some fantastic videos which we'll be featuring over the next couple of DATV nights. This one is the Libra Foundation, which is the open source foundation, has now produced a SDR makerspace evaluation page. So this is for people who want to get into SDR, goes through and evaluates a whole lot of SDRs. And Alex actually is giving a talk, about a 3/4 of an hour talk on the SDR and the LibraSpace Foundation, etc. I've got a couple from VK3YE, Peter Parker, and I noticed that you did a segment with him on getting into amateur radio. I think it was
Peter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that
When I
when
was
you
over
went across to Gibsec? Okay.
I dropped by his place.
Cool.
He said, hey, and then we set the camera up, and he realised that he had the wrong filter on, so we're all in blue the entire video. That's all right.
Mood lighting.
You can still see it. No, I don't think it was quite that. It was outside too.
Right, okay. So it was the inside filter for the outside.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
He figured it out later.
Okay. So, Peter in his usual style has done a couple of videos on street finds. So this is Peter running down the road.
Just on Peter too.
Yep.
Another one of his videos was on the recent changes to the. I don't know if you
the
covered
LCD.
that.
Last week we covered that last week.
Oh,
so
good. Yep.
So yeah,
that's good to view. Breaks it down pretty easily.
Okay. Well, Peter's very much into recycling and repurposing. So this is a couple of videos about what he's found on the curbside in the hard rubbish collection, and what he actually uses them for, and the components that you can actually extract from them. Then there is one demystifying amateur radio repeaters, which is pretty good. One about ham radio grounding in the shack, and I suspect we're going to run out of time, but the very last one is about the SR71 Blackbird, which we only got about 5 minutes of last week. So we're probably only going to get about 5 minutes of it this week, but anyway, we'll see how we go. So that's our videos for tonight. But anyway, so anything to add, Hayden?
You've added that one.
I have.
That's interesting.
I have. That's and I unfortunately I forgot. I didn't write down who it was.
It's ham radio crash course.
That's it.
Josh. Hosh Nassi is his.
And now you did something with him as well.
That's what. That's
that one.
That's that one.
There you go. Okay. So when was that?
That was. That was only 2 weeks ago. That was live.
Okay.
Live stream.
Okay.
Live stream. I was on Skype. He was.
Okay.
At home.
Okay.
On a Sunday.
So this is hot off the press stuff. This is good stuff. Okay.
Teaching the Americans all about ham radio, amateur radio repeaters. Well, not just Americans, but
Well, everybody. This is like he also has a very popular channel.
Yeah. He's got like 66,000 on there.
Ooh,
subs.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. There's a lot of stuff like antenna reviews, and he does a lot. He does digitals. He's almost done everything. One of the videos which you should show, which is quite interesting. He decides to cut up and load up his lawn chairs on his guttering on his house, and he's got the 2 lawn chairs sitting there, and he's got the 7300 and he's loading it up and working people off these lawn chairs. I'll find the link and send it to you.
Excellent.
It's quite
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't think his wife was too happy.
No. Where's those lawn chairs gone?
Yeah, they're hanging from the gutter. His neighbours probably thought he must have been crazy or something.
Yeah. It's a bit like we should dig out the one where they load up the tree. Have you seen that one?
Probably.
They put some nails in, and they and it's not bad on 160 minutes. It's actually. Yeah. No, good stuff. So that's our videos for tonight. So we'll retire to the studio from the studio and head in and get a cup of coffee and see how we go from there. So I'll just put out a bit of a call to anyone on the repeater who would like to call in, because I know Ron's usually there. So if you're listening, by all means try calling in on the repeater, and we'll come back to you for a over. So over to you, Ron, if you're there. No. No crickets.
Not even crickets.
Yeah. Okay. We're there. No. Okay. That's all right. You never quite know, and we haven't quite got to the point where we've got the chat up as well. But we're working on that. On that. Oh,
hold on.
No, there was somebody there.
Ah. Gotta hope so.
No. All right. So we'll get underway with our videos. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our ATV Experimenters Night. And thank you very much, Hayden.
No worries.
Cheers. Now, let me see if I can get this right. We go to there.
Yep, that's right.
That wasn't quite right, was it? Channel 3. Test pattern.
There you go.
But why is it on 2? Okay, that's right. I've got it plugged in at the back wrong. Test pattern. Cool. Now, let's turn